Hello everyone, welcome to my jungle story. I'm Jacqueline and today I'm going to be sharing the items that I love and actually use, and also the items that I have but don't necessarily need to have. So let's get into it. Right, so I've split it up into two categories: items that I use pretty much almost daily and items that I could live without, to be honest. And maybe this can help you out, I don't know, but I remember when I first got into plants, I was looking at tons of videos like this just to, if there's anything that can like help you out or make it easier for you, or anything like that. And honestly, there's a lot out there and you actually don't need half of it. It's a lot of it is just marketing and all of that, and if you click on the link, they'll buy it and they get commission or something like that. I don't know. I'm not at that point yet. Maybe I will be at some point in the future, but that's why I wanted to make this video before I'm at that point, because these are items that are actually going to be useful and just make my life a lot easier. So I'm actually going to start off with the items that I have, but I don't need them. You don't need them. Let's start off with the famous moisture meter. This isn't expensive. I wanted to give it a try and I do sometimes use it, but I could live without this. And you don't need this. You could actually just get a chopstick, stick it in your ground, and you can see on the chopstick if it's dark or wet that you don't need to water them, or if it's dry and crumbly then you do need to water them. You don't need one of these items. I sometimes use this in my hanging pots, like there's hanging pots at the top there, and there is one, my marble queen, she's living up there in the corner. She actually is, I potted her up in that pot, which I shouldn't have done. I am eventually going to take her out and put her into a clear pot so I can actually see what's going on, because right now the water just goes into a water reservoir and I never actually know if she's had enough water or not. And I got one of these to test it out and it does really work. It has helped, so it's definitely something that can help, but it's just not an item that I would necessarily go out and buy, even though I did buy it to give it a try because everyone was talking about it and I was kind of like, well, I might as well give it a try. It's not expensive. But yeah, this is an item that I could live without. Another item, so these were actually gifted to me. They're these little like leaf things. You stick them in your pot and you can like pour water down them in. And I mean, it is helpful, like if you have a full plant, like a pothos, for example, and there's just foliage everywhere and you can't get into the pot easy. It is easy just to stick this in there and water them that way. But it's not an item that you absolutely need. Like I said, I got gifted these and I have not used them yet. I haven't found any need for them. So yeah, another item that you don't need. Right, this one I don't know, I was kind of on the fence about in what category to put this, because I do use this, but you don't actually need it. So this is just like a magnifying glass thingy. It's got like a light as well. I think I paid like €3 for this on Temu, I think it was. And I have used this what was it for? I don't actually remember. I think it was when I had spider mites, and with spider mites I do sometimes struggle to see them. So yeah, I bought this to give it a try. I thought, you know what, it's cheap, might as well give it a try. And you don't really need this. It is nice to have, I'm not going to lie, it is very nice to have, but it's not an absolute necessity. It's not something that you absolutely need. It is fun. I do have to say, it is fun, but it's not something that you need. Right, this is an item that I actually have not even used, if I'm being honest. These, I think I paid like €10 for these as well. I bought these on, I think it was plants.com, because they are from a brand, Botanopia, I don't know. But yeah, they're basically just these gloves to clean they are really, really soft. They're just to like clean your plants. And maybe I will use this more in the winter because right now, see, they're just gloves and you can wipe the leaves and all that. But right now I just take my plants outside and I just hose them down once I see that they're dusty. I don't actually even wipe them anymore. Yeah, when it's winter time or when it's cold, then I don't want to go outside and do that, and I don't want to shock the plant either. So maybe I will use these more then, but right now this is not an item that I need. And you actually still don't need this because you can just use a cloth. You don't need fancy gloves like this. You don't, even the description on the website was like, oh, plant gloves. I was like, you know what, these are just, you can just go out and buy a cheap pair of fluffy gloves, winter gloves, and just use that. You don't need plant gloves. So yeah, this is definitely an item that I do not need. Another one are these little cups. It's, yeah, sun is coming and going, so sorry about the exposure, but can't do much about it. Yeah, I bought these little, I think I have 2 of them, to water my moss poles, just to, like, every single morning go around and fill them up like this. But I didn't look properly because they were supposed to be like the bigger ones. I think I would use the bigger one more often, but I don't, honestly. These were just lying around. We hardly ever use them. Now I use the cup system in my moss poles and I just fill up the cup. I don't need this separate thing. I mean, maybe if it was bigger, I would use it more because it is really nice to just have a couple of these, have them filled up with like fertilizer and just go around like that. I guess that would be easier, but I always have, like, my watering station is always out, so I'm not really worried about that. Why is there, I swear my last video there was an irritating fly in here as well. Go away. Yeah, you don't. You don't need them. You don't need them. Just use a simple watering can. Yeah, I'm not going to cover like the basic products like a watering can or fertilizer, just because I'm kind of like, well, that's kind of a given. These are more items that I've purchased along the way, not like at the beginning of my plant journey, more so in the last year, actually. I think most of these items were, yeah, they were actually, yeah. But yeah, like the necessities, like a watering can, fertilizer, those are just a given for me. Another item that you don't need is a label maker. This is a really cheap one. So this was only like €6, I think. So I don't want to say I absolutely need it. I do enjoy it. It is a lot nicer than going around and writing on the pots with like a Sharpie or something, because it just ends up going off. I used to use like those paper label sticker things and just write on them, but they end up going moldy and gross and you have to pull them off and redo them and whatever. That way it is a nice way, but I wouldn't say that it's something that you absolutely need. I mean, honestly, this is just my opinion. Everyone has their own opinion. Yeah, everyone has their own opinion. You know, some items you might prefer to use. I am really interested, like leave a comment down below what items you use and what works for you, because everyone's different and everyone has a different opinion and everything, you know, works differently for everyone. Yeah, for us all. I mean, it's everyone's different. So these are just my preference and my opinion. Right, those are all the items that I own. I could go on and on, honestly, because there's a lot of items, but a lot of them I've gotten rid of over the years, or I just don't use them anymore. But those are the items that first came to mind when I thought, you know what, I don't actually need that. It's just kind of takes up space and you don't absolutely need them. Okay, category 2. So these are the items that I use all the time and I don't know what I was doing before I had these items because I cannot believe how much they use them. I'm going to start off with the one thing. I even actually, no, I have my watering can here because I was going to talk about this because there is a difference in watering cans. I know it seems stupid, but there is. I bought this one from IKEA for aesthetic reasons because I thought it was so damn cute. But honestly, this thing is so nice. I don't know, you know when you just have a watering can that the way the water comes out, I feel like such an idiot talking about this, but the way the water comes out, it just irritates you and it spills everywhere, or you can't fill it up to a certain point because it just goes everywhere. Just, yeah, if you know what I mean, you know what I mean. And this is such a nice one. I have 2 watering cans because there's one that I use just for normal water, and then there's one that I also use with fertilizer, because I found that over time it can get a little bit gross in there. This one I just use with regular water, and then I have like my old one from in the garden. I use that one with fertilizer. I don't know why, I've just always done it like that. I'm going to start off with the product that I use every single day, especially now. It is very, very hot in Belgium. Actually, next week it's going to be above 30 degrees, so it's nice that it's summer, but I'm not looking forward to it. Like 25 degrees is fine for me, but it's just at 30 plus degrees, it's too much. But this item, so I have this, and then I use like the oven tray on top of it. This is my watering station. This is out on my kitchen island all of the time. I don't pack this thing away. The only time I pack it away is when my parents come over to eat, and that's it. That's the only time I pack her away. For the rest, she's always out. I actually want to buy another one of these because this is one from my oven, but I just want to like buy a separate one because I don't know, all like the sediment from the fertilizer, and also whenever I need to use the oven, it's a pain because I have to clean it, and yeah, I do want to get like a separate one. But this, I use this all the time. This is just like a, honestly, this thing has had a laugh, okay? This thing has had a laugh. This is from when I lived in England. I lived in England for 8 years, and everyone that I knew in England, all my friends, they always had this in their sink. I don't know why. Don't ask me why. If you're from England and you know why, tell me why, please. But yeah, it was just standard to have one of these in your sink. And yeah, that's where she's come from. I've used her for everything. I've used her to dump my chicken poop in. I've used her to repot things in. I've used her to harvest with. Yeah, I think like potatoes also lives in her for. Yeah, this thing's had a laugh. And now she's my permanent watering station. She even looks kind of, that's from the fertilizer. When I used to use like organic, the brownie fertilizer, it's kind of like stained that, but cannot live without that. If you don't use that with your watering routine, I would highly recommend it. I wanted to use that for quite a while, and I actually found it in my shed after living there for years and completely forgotten that I had it. And I was looking for it here in Belgium, and I don't know why, but I just could not find it. And I still had that one from England, so it's kind of nice that it's come with me all these years. But yeah, I would highly recommend trying it. It honestly is really nice. It's also nice that you can like move it around. When I need to water in my cabinet, I just take it over and I sit on the floor and I water my cabinet there. It is really nice. It makes the watering, I don't know, I just enjoy it a lot more. Whereas before, I used to put it off and I just used to dump all the water into the sink and just let it drain out. And that way you can also reuse the water, which is also really nice. Another item that I don't know what I was doing before what was I doing before? I just used cups. Yeah, at a certain point, I used to use my glass cups because like plastic cups, they ended up just going funny and not really working very well, or bending or whatever. I needed something a little bit hardier. And I was just using glass cups, and I got to like a certain point where I was missing cups in my kitchen. So I needed just like a simple cup, and honestly, these are not expensive. I think you can buy them. I think it was like a pack of 2 for €2 or something like that. You can find these anywhere, to be honest. And these are so easy. I actually want to order some more to put like in each bin, because I find myself looking for this thing and losing it. I have another scoop, like a big one, but this one, just the shape of it makes it really easy for repotting, and it's a lot more enjoyable. I just used to use my hands, and you can just use your hands. I think I got, the first time I had a scoop, I got it for free with an order, and I was like, oh, that's nice. And I started using it. I was like, wow, that is a lot easier. And then I found this pack, and it's so easy. It's so nice. Also helps you spill less, because I'm one of those people that when I repot, there's just stuff everywhere. And this actually made it a lot easier, and it's a lot less messy. So yeah, love this product. I use this almost every single day, to be honest. I don't do repotting every single day, but I'm always fiddling with my plants. So there's always a time where I'm using this. Another thing that this is, actually, now that I think of it, this is not something that you need. You can just use scissors. But I honestly actually just bought these because I thought they were so cute. And they were really cheap. But yeah, a pair of, now it's happening now, I can't find the English word for this. Shears, is that what it is? I don't know, you know what this is. Anyway, I don't know why I can't think of the word. That's what happens when you speak two languages. It's sometimes some words just escape you. Anyway, I used to use scissors all the time, and I found that whenever I cut a plant or anything like that, I don't know the cut, unless it was just the scissors that I was using, I have no idea. But the cut was never like clean, and it used to go like all funny. And with these, it's just, I mean, it's easy, you know, it's going to really bug me that I don't know the name in English. What is the name? It's Google. Snoei schaar. Translate. Pruning shears. Okay, there you go. Yeah, pruning shears. Shears. But yeah, I was right. I did say shears, yeah. Honestly, I also wouldn't say go out and buy a super expensive one. In the garden, it's a different story. Like Mitch has some really expensive ones that are just, I mean, I could never pay that much money for a pair of shears. I think that's ridiculous. But just one of these, I still end up using the scissors every now and then, especially because I have a separate potting room and these live in there. And if I'm doing something inside and I don't really feel like going to my potting room, then I will end up using scissors. I try and avoid that as much as I can because I don't want to, knowing me, I'll forget that I used a pair of scissors to cut that, and then I'll use it on something that has to do with food, and that's just not, you don't want to do that. So definitely I use these a lot. I try, and these are also really nice and small. You can get ones that are really big, but I just chuck it in. This one's actually just been lying on my kitchen island because my kitchen island looks like a mess at the moment, but anyway. And yeah, I just use it whenever I can. It has a nicer cut than scissors, but yeah, use these a lot. Another item that I'm going to put it in this category and not in the category that you don't need them, because before I had a potting room, I used this all the time, and that is a potting mat. I don't know what I was doing before I had a potting mat. I think I just used trays, but I never had a tray big enough, so the stuff used to go everywhere anyway. Yeah, this is just really easy. You can fold it up and it's like this, and it folds out to be like a... Just be careful with the measurements, because I have seen that you can buy really, really small ones and they're cute and everything, but it's not practical. This is a nice big one. I'll open it. Oh, there's even stuff in it. Yeah, you can see that's big. And it's served me well, but ever since I've had a potting room, I don't use it as much, just because I have a big table there and I haven't really found the need to do that. But not everyone has a potting room, obviously, or a designated spot to be able to do repotting. So this is really helpful. It clips up at the side. So see, in each corner, it like clips like this, so that you can just pick it up and throw it outside or in your bin or whatever when you're done. And yeah, it's just really easy. It's really convenient. Honestly, when I got this, I remember saying to myself, why did I not get this sooner? They're not expensive. Like, the items that I use every single day are actually the least expensive items out of everything that I'm showing you today. All of the other stuff that I've already shown you, that's the most expensive stuff. I mean, they're not bad. I definitely do my digging and I have a look and see at the prices, because you can buy an expensive label maker, or you can buy one for €6 like I did. But a potting mat is the same. It's actually the same with all the items that I'm showing you. You just got to do your research. You got to do some digging, because some websites will charge you a ridiculous amount just because they are a plant website or whatever. I just bought this on Amazon, I think it was. Yeah, it was Amazon. It wasn't expensive. I think it was €5. So just do your digging. You will be surprised at what you can find. But yeah, love this. Another item that I use all the time, especially when I'm repotting, actually, is this thing. This is actually what they use for seedlings. Like it's got like a weird shape. Like at the bottom, it's to make your hole. You can, I think it even has measurements on it. No, this one doesn't. But I think this is like 2 centimeters or something like that. I don't know. But anyway, and on the other end, it's got like a smaller piece and with like a little bit of a dent to make like a hole. And I don't know what this came with. I think this came for free with a pack of, like those cocoa blocks that you can buy that you put in water and it, turns into cocoa coir. This was attached to that. It just came free with that for seedlings, obviously. But I use this specifically for my moss poles. So when I make my moss poles, I stick the moss in, and through the grids, I use this to kind of push it down. It's also, I used to use like chopsticks, all of that, but they always used to snap. This is hard plastic. This is like hard plastic. There is no ways that you can break this. And it's so easy. I also use it for when I'm repotting. If it's a clear pot though, if it's not a clear pot, then I can't really see what I'm doing. But actually, just yesterday I used this. My daughter knocked over my Schinapsis argyrius over there. It was everywhere. It was all over the couch. And yeah, I had to repot her, obviously. And I used this to dig at the sides because there were lots of big pockets of soil that I kind of needed to close up a little bit. And yeah, I just used this. It's really easy. I don't know where you would be able to buy this. I've not actually seen this in a garden center unless I've not looked properly. But it's basically just a hard plastic stick. That's it. I don't think you pay much for this either. But yeah, I use this product so much. I love this product. Another thing that I didn't know that I needed as much as I do is these Velcro strips. Honestly, any binding, then again, I use twine as well, like the brown twine that you can get, but I found that over time that just kind of, it ends up breaking. It is nice because it blends in a little bit more, like it doesn't stick out as much, whereas this does. Like this is just like Velcro strips. I get these with the moss poles that I buy. They just come with them for free. These are honestly, I used to use twine all the time, but ever since I got these and I tried them, they're just a lot hardier and you can reuse them. Whereas with twine, I found that over time, it just ends up going funny and gross and not really reusable. So I use this a lot, especially with my moss poles. And to be honest, I've been using it for other things as well. Even if it's just a pole, a plant that I'm like using a bamboo stake or whatever, I'll use this as well. And what else did I use it for? Oh yeah, I even used it in my cabinets to hang. I made like a hole through one of the pots because I have this grid on the back of my cabinet, and I stuck it through like one of the holes, and I used it like as a little like hanging tool because I use like washing line pegs, but I actually need to get some more pegs. But anyway, I thought, you know what, I need something really quick, and this is just easy. You can just cut it off and at whatever length that you want. And it's a lot stronger than twine and rope and things like that. You can also use like garden wire and things like that. But I don't know, I find these to be really easy. It's soft. With the garden wire, I stick myself in fingers so many times. Just for people who are klatzers, this stuff is magic. Another product that I use all the time are these clips. So I just have them in this Tupperware thing. But I have these cute little dragonfly clips. And before you can just get, I think I have one in here actually. They're just like the normal clips, like hair clips that you can get actually. See, it's just like the little clips. And you can use them for anything. You can use them to attach a plant to a pole. You can use them with, like if you have a garden stake or whatever in there, you can use them to attach to that. You can use them for so much. I think in the beginning when my plants were quite small, I used to stick them onto my pole because I thought that was so cute as well, because they're really cute. And I think I bought them in a pack of 100 and also really, really cheap. But I find that this is so much easier than if you have, oh, what was it the other day that I thought, wow, yes, that's it, my Hoyas. So I have these bamboo trellises for my Hoyas, and I just used to use garden wire, like you can bend it to whatever you want. But what I found then is that whenever it like grew and I needed to reattach it, or it went off the trellis, or I just found, one, I was sticking myself in the finger all the time, which was just so irritating, and I was also damaging the plants. I had that with one of my Monstera Adansonii, that I took like a wire and I stuck it in there and it ended up damaging the leaf. So that's the only thing with like garden wire, is you can end up damaging your plants. Whereas with this, it's just really easy to clip on, clip off. You can move it wherever you want. It's just very convenient. You don't need specifically like the dragonfly ones, but there's so many options out there. Like you've got the different colors and everything. I find that it also doesn't, I don't know, with the garden wire, it's purely for aesthetic reasons, but it's cute. You know, it's like giving your plant a little bit of a boost. And when I found these, where did I first see them? I think it was also on YouTube, I don't remember. But I remember thinking, I need them. And literally in the space of 10 minutes, I ordered a pack. Because you can find them anywhere. They're so easy to find. So yeah, this is an item that I cannot live without. I love them. Another item is plastic containers or glass jars or whatever. I have a box full of this stuff. I actually have 2 separate boxes with glass jars and with plastic ones. And yeah, this is actually the one that I use the most. I have hundreds of these, hundreds. This is from yogurt, I think it is. Yeah, it was from yogurt. This is a yogurt that I have like almost every single day, and I just keep them because I use another cup and I put it on top, and it makes like a cute little dome for all my propagations. But yeah, honestly, I know if you don't have the room, then fair enough, but if you just have like a box that you can stick anywhere, where you can just dump some of these propagation vessels, just do it, because honestly you will get to a point where you chop a plant or you want to do some propagating and you will thank yourself that you made a prop bin sort of thing of all of these vessels to propagate in. So these are items, not only plastic, also glass. I do prefer using glass, but yeah, for example, this, I eat one of these yogurts every single day. So, and I've kept every single one, and that's why I say I have hundreds, but I just can't throw them away. They're useful. I know that I will use them down the line. There's obviously a limit to it, I know. I am a bit of a hoarder. You would have seen the box by now, but yeah, love these items. Right, the last item, or is it the last item? I'm not 100% sure.
A few moments later.
So again, this is purely my opinion and just the products that I love to use. But this is an item that I don't know why I didn't get this sooner, and it is a little bit of an investment, and that is a humidifier. Now, I actually didn't just buy a humidifier for plant purposes. I actually also bought it because I have asthma, and in the winter, because we have floor heating, it's very, very dry in here. And I struggle in the winter with my asthma. And I did a little bit of research, and they said, try a humidifier. So I bought one of these really cheap like aroma diffuser things to give it a try, because if you buy a humidifier, it can be quite expensive. And the one that I ended up buying was quite expensive, but I wanted to test it out to see if it actually worked. So I bought one of these little mini aroma diffusers, and I noticed the difference pretty much from day one. I also noticed a difference in my skin. Again, this is all in the winter, but my skin just used to dry out very, very quickly. But anyway, because I noticed the difference so incredibly quickly, I went ahead and purchased a humidifier. There are so many options, but the one that I use is just, I love it. It's got like a bunch of different buttons on it, and you can do lots of different things with it. Like it has a heating option, which I don't use, to be honest. It has a lock option, which is really nice if you have kids. My son has not discovered it yet, so I'm pretty happy about that. But yeah, you can like set like the max and the min and set your humidity. It also is an automatic one, so it's one that switches off if it senses that the humidity is at the level that you set it. You can set that all as well. So yeah, I really love that humidifier. I've had that humidifier for over 2 years now, and I don't know, I feel like there's mixed feelings about this online, but for me, I have noticed a difference in my plants. I mean, listen, conditions are everything, and every single home is going to have different conditions. Just because it works in my home doesn't mean it'll work in your home, but it is an item that I cannot live without. And I noticed if I forget to fill up the water reservoir, I notice big time. Right now in the summer, she has not been on for a couple of days actually, because it's been a standard of 65% indoors, and I set it to 65%. I don't set it more for that, because there's a lot of plants here anyway, so they create humidity as well, especially the moss poles. So I don't need to have it on all the time, and it's nice that I can just kind of set it and let it do its thing. But I have noticed a difference in my plants. I actually noticed the biggest difference in my alocasias. My alocasias, especially over the winter time, pretty much went dormant. And when I got a humidifier, they woke up and they gave me growth all year round. So for me, it's made a big difference health-wise, but also plants. So it's an item that I cannot live without. Okay, that is going to be it for today's video. Those are the items that I use on a daily basis and items that I own but don't actually need and kind of regret buying. I hope that this was helpful. Maybe you got some useful tips. Leave a comment down below and tell me about products that you absolutely love and cannot leave without, and products that you also own but truthfully don't actually need. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope you found this useful, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.